Alright, so now we'll go over these nomenclature questions. So, as we've been doing and talking about with these types of questions, our first step is always to find our longest chain or our parent alkane. And in this first one, we can see our parent chain goes right down through like this. The second step becomes determining which direction we need to number it. And as with any alkane question like this for nomenclature, we always have two choices. So the first set of numbers, which I've put in green, or this second set in gray. So if we look at our green numbers, which start at the top, we can see that we have a substituent already on the first carbon, the bromine. Whereas if we start at the bottom with the gray numbers, our first substituent doesn't come until the second carbon. That means it's the first carbon that gets priority here, the one with the substituent at the first carbon, and so we will start numbering this one at the top. So in a lot of cases, especially if this is something that you're still new at, which presumably at this point you are, the next thing I often suggest doing is just going carbon by carbon through the molecule and making a list of the substituents that are present. So on the first carbon, we have a bromine. On the first carbon, we also have a chlorine. And remember, our halogens as substituents become named bromo and chloro. Carbons 2 and 3 have nothing on them. On carbon 4, we have a methyl. On carbon 4, we have another methyl. We have a methyl on 5. And a methyl on 7. So now any substituents that are repeated, such as the methyls, we can combine them. So we have a total of 4 methyl groups. So we'll call this 4, 4, 5, 7. And then we need the prefix for 4, which is tetra. So tetramethyl. So now we just need to put all of it together. We're going to put our substituents in alphabetical order. Bromine comes first, 1 bromo. Then chlorine. Then our methyls. And finally, our parent name, which is octane. All right, let's go on to our second one. Now, this one may look pretty awful at first, but it's not as bad as it looks. So our longest chain can be found here. Now, in this case, we don't need to worry about which direction we number this one. Why is that? Well, if you look right here, and I'm going to erase this line in a minute, this molecule is symmetric. We have the same things on the left and right halves of the molecule. So because this is symmetric, we're going to get the same numbers regardless of which direction we go in. So you can see we have a total of 7 carbons here for heptane. At the 4th carbon, we have a tert butyl group. Remember that gets alphabetized under B. And then we have a lot of methyl groups. How many of them? Well, we have 2 methyl groups on carbon 2, 2 on carbon 3, 2 on 5, and 2 on 6. So there's a total of 8 methyl groups. So that becomes octa for 8. So octamethyl tells us we have 8 methyl groups. And then that should continue straight across to heptane, but I ran out of room. So the full name of our compound is 4-tert-butyl 2,2,3,3,5,5,6,6 octamethyl heptane. All right, now in the case of this third one, again we're going just down the left column on the sheet now. We have a situation here where which way do we go from here for our longest chain? Do we go here or do we go here? Because it's the same number of carbons in the chain in either of those two directions. So how do we pick? Well, up until that point where the two chains diverge, the chains are the same. But when we get past that point, what happens is that those 2 carbons on the blue chain don't have any extra substituents, while going where I've highlighted in green has an extra substituent. And so remember, our tiebreaker is to go in the direction that has more substituents. So that's going to be the path here that goes like this. So we have an 8 carbon chain. So this is octane. We have a bromine on the second carbon. And then we have ethyl groups, 2 of them on carbon 3 and 1 on carbon 4. So that's 3, 3, 4 triethyl octane. And so just for sort of clarity and to not make this video too long, I'm going to stop this video at this point, clear off this sheet, and then we'll do the last 3 in the next video.